Hey guys, this is Bruce, and I'm doing a live on Monday. I don't normally do this, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to answer some questions. It's open topics, so feel free to ask anything. Let me see. I'm going to start off immediately by getting into the questions. Let me see. I've got a couple of comments on YouTube that I'm going to answer. Let me see. Somebody asked me, what do you think about providing more security training to acquisition professionals? So that red flags are caught faster. Got it. And acquisitions training to security professionals to help acquisitions teams make better decisions. Training. Okay. So what they mean is, like, whenever organizations are purchasing services or products, what happens is sometimes they buy stuff that's not authorized, and they'll buy from unauthorized sources, and it can lead to bad things, because then you don't have security in the supply chain, meaning you could buy some products from a company or service that has already been compromised, has been hacked, or has a data breach, or you're partnering with a business that has some sort of a data breach, which is super bad. So I think that's a great idea. And typically the organizations I've been to, the acquisition team is usually like integrated into either compliance, HR departments, or other parts of the organization, so that, and everybody has to know what the deal is as far as security acquisitions. And that's the federal government is better about that. They're very strict about acquisitions, and they have to be, because they have to have security throughout the entire process. And it's super important with acquisitions. In the private sector, it's a little bit more loose. So I noticed that sometimes they're okay with, like, buying some stuff from Best Buy and then plugging it in, which is crazy to me. But yeah, that's actually a great idea. I'm gonna add a little thumbs up here. Yeah. Normally they do get training in the places I've been to. This is open topic, guys. So if you guys have any questions at all, I'm not going to be on here too long. If you have any questions about getting into cybersecurity, I'm open right now. And another thing is, if you are interested in getting free downloadables, getting like an introduction in what this is all about, go to ConvoCourses.net. Go ahead and check it out. Just check it out. You can just mess around with it before you buy. Somebody asked me, what search do you recommend for being an analyst? You mean a cybersecurity analyst? Okay, so I was a cybersecurity analyst before, and what they do, if you're talking about the cybersecurity analyst, what we did was, we were in what's called a security operations center, and what you're doing is you're looking at all the logs throughout the organization. You're looking at the internet working logs, that's the routers and switches. You're looking at firewall rules and whatever is stopping. You're looking at endpoint device rules that are coming in. You're looking at server rules. You're looking at all this data. It kind of looks like the Matrix. You'll see the code going across. It looks like that, except it's all the logs throughout the whole organization. You're watching those. Usually you have like a SIEM or some sort of a device, like a security information event manager or something, that's pulling all that data in, and it can actually analyze some of that data for you. And then sometimes you're building out stuff to catch different security events, and that's what you're doing. So the certifications that were the best for that job, that were specific, were GCIA, which is Intrusion. Oh man, what is it? Man, let me look it up. GCIA. I can't remember what it's from. It's from SANS, but it's one of the best. It's one of the best certifications out there. GCIA. And there's another one too that Intrusion analyst. Okay, I was on the right track. Intrusion analyst. from SANS. If you're interested in that, just type in GCIA and you'll see what it's called, Certified Intrusion Analyst. And then you've got Intrusion, an Incident Handler, which is a GCIH. That's a really good one. And then another good one is like the hacker certifications, like a GPEN is good. A OC, oh man, what is it? OSCP, is that what it's called? I can't. This is not my field of expertise, so OSCP, I believe it's called OSCP. It's like a hacker certification. It's a really good one. But another one is CEH. So the reason why you want to get one of those certifications, because you have to be familiar with the types of hacking that you can do, and then you'll know what, if you see those incidents come in, you'll recognize it as an ethical hacker. So that's why those are really good. Another one, CISSP. You got your standard ones. That's good. I mean, pretty much CISSP kind of a general certification. I mean, it's really good for making money. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't really specify. It doesn't specialize. So those are the ones that I would recommend if you're trying to be a security an analyst. Another one, Security Plus. If you're entry level, Security Plus. Another one is CompTIA has one called the CSYA. Let me just Google it. That's not my realm. That's why I'm kind of like, what is it again? And I don't have some of those certifications. So it's a CYSA. That's CS. Let me see. CompTIA C YSA. Yeah, that's what it was. CYSA plus, which is it specializes for like people who are going to work in SOC analysts, like analysts. So hope that answers your question. Let me see. Another question is, any thoughts on GYU must be really pumping out some really good marketing, because every time I do these lives, somebody asks me about it. I have some people in the military who got a degree or a certification from them, and it seems to be good. It's an accredited college. Their prices are pretty good. I mean, I don't think it's bad. There's a dude here on TikTok, Chris. I can't remember that guy's name, but that guy got it. Master's degree in it and a certification. So what you're looking for really is any accredited college. Very important. You don't have to necessarily get a cybersecurity degree. They're just the organization usually just trying to check a box, to be honest with you. So when you go to a school, you just want to get somebody with a real good curriculum and somebody you can get as much from them as possible without spending too much money. That really should be your main focus. You don't have to you don't have to go to an Ivy League college or anything like that. You just want something that's going to check that box for the organization. And also that you just have to get something in STEM. That's science, technology, engineering, mathematics. And if you get one of those with some experience in computers, then you can usually get a job in a cybersecurity role. Getting my associate's degree in cybersecurity this semester, man, congrats. It definitely levels you up. The degree levels you up with money. So that's what I'll say. You don't have to get it. A lot of people are trying to avoid it because there's just so much bad talk about it. And I don't blame them. The prices have really gone up with the books. And this just kind of seems like a ripoff at this point. But to be honest, it's still relevant. In this field, it's relevant because you have to go very deep in certain areas and you have to have multidisciplinary. You have to know different things in order to further your knowledge, if that makes any sense. So I would say a degree in this field is still relevant and it makes you more money. Like even if you just got nothing but certifications, at the end of the day, a degree, if they're looking at you and someone else and both of you have the same level of education, or both of you have the same certs, the same experience, but one person has an associate's degree, that just gives you one leg up on that other person. So a degree is a good thing. if you like money. What do you recommend for someone with no degree to get their foot in the door, through the door of cybersecurity? So first of all, you got to start off with IT. Like basic IT is what you got to start off with. Nobody's exempt from knowing the knowledge. So you got to know the basics of information technology. And the basics are going to be, you can study on your own, to be honest with you. And like I was saying before, a degree is going to get you, is going to, it's going to boost you up. If you have an associate's or a bachelor's or master's or something, it's going to give you more doors will open up. But it doesn't mean all doors are closed because you don't have a degree. But what you need to get is the knowledge from number one, get the knowledge. And one place you can get that knowledge is a CompTIA A+, and just start study the common body of knowledge that's there. It's just the way that they put it together is really well done. And that's one of the first certifications that I got. And it once I had a baseline of what I'm supposed to do and how computers basically work, it was like a light bulb came on for me. So, and let me show you kind of what kinds of things that they're going to teach you in there. They're going to teach you hardware. They're going to teach you networking, mobile devices, operating systems, troubleshooting, virtualization in cloud, software troubleshooting, security, and operational procedures. It's changed over the years, and that's the thing about CompTIA is they're constantly updating their materials, which is great, and they're keeping up with technology. And I wouldn't be surprised if very soon AI is implemented in a lot of this stuff, because that's, if at some point there won't be, you won't be able to say the word computer without AI. Okay, let me see. You still in the field, bro? I am still in cybersecurity. I got off work 3 hours ago. Like I'm still grinding. I'm not just a content creator. I work. I mean, I work for right now in the public sector for a government department, and before that, I was in the private sector doing cybersecurity consulting, and before that, I was an information system security officer for a government agency. So yeah, I do this for real. So everything I'm telling you is real. This is like what's really happening right now in our. So feel free to ask me any questions about this field, because I'm really doing this. Do you have to know code in cybersecurity? No, you don't have to know code in cybersecurity. And case in point, I don't know code. I'm not good at math. I'm, my logic skills are okay. My logic skills are nice, I have to admit. My logic skills are nice, but my math skills, I got to brush up on my algebra, my pre-algebra. I mean, I know enough to help my kids, but the thing is, you don't need that in this field. You don't have to be a mathematician. What you really need is emotional intelligence to keep it a buck. You need to know the basics of IT. That's for sure. Okay. The more experience you have in information technology, the better, I would say. But hardcore programming and knowing how to code, you don't. That being said, I've messed around with code, but on my own free time. Like I wrote my own application, and I realized how bad I sucked at it. And I was like, wow, I'm really bad. So I wrote it, right? It took me 3 months to write my own code because I had to learn from scratch, right? I learned like Swift. I had to put my application on two different, on Google, on an iPhone, and then I had to write. They're two different codes. So if it's on an Android, you have to write it on a different code, and then if it's on an iPhone, you have to write it. So I had to learn two different to do this simple thing that took me 3 months to do it, and in the end, I ended up handing it to. I paid someone else to do it, and they did it in a week, much better than me. So it's like, anyway. So no, you don't have to know how to code to get in cybersecurity, and the reason why is because there's many different branches of cybersecurity. So you've got to break it down in the most broadest general sense possible. You got to super technical cybersecurity people, which goes into things like you got cybersecurity code people, like literally people who look at application source code to see if there's anything going wrong in it. You've got technical people who do firewalls, who have to know Palo Alto, for example, firewalls or whatever. You've got people who have to know IPSs, IDSs. You got people, cybersecurity analysts actually have to be pretty technical. You've got network security people who have to be very, very technical. You got virtualization and cloud people who are security guys who have to be very technical. But then you've got managers. Managers typically, they have some knowledge. They can, a lot of them are very smart. Don't get me wrong. Like, some of them have a lot of experience being technical, but I've also had managers who were in cybersecurity, who were my manager or my supervisor, who were not technical. They were not tech. They were managers, but in a cybersecurity role. So typically, those guys have a master's degree. They have more experience being a manager than they do have being hands-on, and they're put in that role because they're technical enough to like understand the technology. But I also have had managers who could run circles around me technically. So managers are kind of they're a mixed bag. And then you have policy guys. You have policy guys like myself, and I've had policy guys who were super duper technical, but they don't need to, because we're like technical writers. Like, a lot of times we're writing, we're having to have all these meetings with technical people, C-level execs, and managers, and we have to like be able to code switch. We have to be able to talk to the technical guys in their language, and sometimes do a little research, and we have to know enough to like understand what's the vulnerability and how to fix it and stuff like that. So you do have to be a little technical, but not like hands-on technical. You have to understand what's going on. And then you've got to talk to C-level execs who they want to get to the point. You got to be extremely professional, get straight to the point, and be able to break down something that's complex in a way that everyone in the room can understand it. So you don't have to be a coder, because there's different aspects of cybersecurity, and I hope that makes sense. What's your thoughts on a data breach, the Alvia data breach? What's happening to Alvia? I'm gonna have to make some content about this. Alvaria. What is Alvaria? It's there's a data breach from Alvaria, huh? Announces a data breach. Hive ransom. Ooh, I gotta read about this one. Oh, thanks for that information, man. I didn't know about this. I'm gonna read about that one and research it. Okay. Cybersecurity can be broken down into GRC, security operations, security architecture and training, and other support. So JP, who's a cybersecurity guy, has broken it down into these three parts: GRC, security operations, security architecture, training, and other support. That's valid. One of the places that I go to have one of the most comprehensive breakdowns of cybersecurity it's called the NICE Workforce, NICE Cybersecurity Framework. And they have 7 different categories, and the 7 different categories break it down into like 32 specializations. And the categories, just to name a couple of them, is support, like JP just said. Another one is protecting, protect and defend, which is your cybersecurity analyst, your defense, your blue team type people, and then you've got it breaks it down into, oh man, what's another one? Oh, investigators. Investigators are like your forensics, your data forensics type people, crime investigators. That's a totally valid part of cybersecurity. A couple ones that they don't mention are your scientists. They don't really mention architects. They don't really mention one. I was surprised they don't really mention crypto analysts. Crypto analysts are the guys who break and create code. Well, you got cryptographers, and then you've got crypto analysts. One breaks codes and one creates codes, but that stuff's not in the categories. But all of those are part of cybersecurity. It's just a huge field. So it's not all people who know code, to be honest with you. In that one, actually in the cybersecurity workforce, they also add support, which JP talks about. They add project managers, system analysts. They add network operators, and the reason why they add those because security is it's everyone's problem. I was going to say it's everyone's job in an organization, so that's why they mention it in there because it's all of our jobs. So, let me see other questions. I saw your link in bio. Do you have something where I can do start to finish to get into it? Start to finish to get into it. I have some something to see if you want to get into this. I personally don't have anything like I'm working on some stuff. I'm working on something that could show you like take somebody who has some knowledge of IT and then teach them the basics. Like I'm going to teach from the perspective of best practices because I think that's a really good way to teach people cybersecurity. Because if you know the best practices, um, even if you don't know the concept super well, if you know what to put on a system, then you can secure any system because you'll know the best practices of every system, whether it's a server or it's an endpoint device, that's your computer or it's your phone. So that's how I'm going to teach it, but it's going to take me a while to develop all that stuff. So, all right, let me see. Somebody asked me, what do you recommend from CompTIA to purchase for certification? It depends on what level you are, sir. It really depends on what level you are. I would say if you know absolutely nothing, if you are a dummy at IT, okay, they have something for everybody. That's why I always mention CompTIA because that's where I started, and they have something for every level. So if you have, let's say you got, not only do you not know anything, but you know you're not tech savvy, like you have trouble doing anything, even on your phone. You have trouble doing like stuff seems to quote unquote break when you touch it. Like you don't know nothing. You don't know the terminology. You don't know anything, right? For whatever reason. So they have something for you. They have CompTIA Information Technology Fundamentals. That's what it's called. And they basically start you off with not even doing nothing technical. It's just terms. They just breaking down the terms. It's a very cheap certification. It's not very long. It's very easy. It's not going to get you any jobs, right? But it's like a beginner course. Then they have something. The next level is like, I'm serious. I'm a geek. I'm already messing around with my computer. I'm already messing around. I'm very serious about this. I'm in this for real. Like I'm about to dedicate a whole bunch of time. I'm about to read books. That's A plus. CompTIA A plus is for somebody who is a beginner. You don't know nothing about nothing. You don't know the difference between a server and a client. You don't know different IP addresses. Like you don't know like that there's private IP addresses and public IP addresses. You don't know nothing. You don't know the difference between a cross-domain solution and a firewall because you're like, what's a cross-domain solution? I don't know what the hell that is. You don't know, like you don't know what the difference between a switch and a router is. If this is you, you need to take the CompTIA A plus. But you want to get into it and you're hardcore about it. Maybe you already made your own network. You already, that's A plus certification and it's marketable. People are saying it's not marketable. Right now, if you go to Indeed.com, you type in CompTIA A plus, you will find jobs for CompTIA A plus if you get that certification with little or no experience. It's marketable, right? Not in every state, right? Then let's say you already know the difference between a router and a switch. You already know you're the resident geek. People come to you to fix their computer. Your mom comes to you, your dad comes to you and says, hey, could you fix this computer for me? I'm having trouble. And that's you. You come in, you fix this stuff. You are an IT person. You are a geek, right? You don't need CompTIA A plus. You need to go to Security Plus. So it depends on your level. Now, let's say you already have a Security Plus. You've been in this industry for quite some time, and now you want to level up even further. They have something called the CISSP. The CISSP is up there with the CISSP. So it's up there. With the CISSP, you can approach six figures, if not get six figures with the CISSP. That's provided that you have a certain level of experience and a certain level of knowledge, of course, like that. So which certification depends on your level. So I hope that answers your question. All right, let me see. Will a boot camp with ThriveX help with certs? I mean, I think any boot camp will help you with certs. I don't think you need, and I don't want to stomp on anybody's toes, and I'm not telling you not to get one, a boot camp or whatever. But let me just tell you, they are overpriced for the same price that you would spend on a boot camp. Like, listen, if you're already in a boot camp, more power to you. If you can afford to get one, cool. I've been in boot camps before, but it was paid by another organization. So I'm just going to tell you the truth. All right. From somebody who's done them before, who's been in this industry for a while. If you're spending 9 to 10 grand on a boot camp, you might as well go to get a degree. You might as well spend that money to go put it forward to get a degree, because a degree is worth more than any certification they're going to give you, with the exception of maybe the CISSP or some professional level cert, right? And if that's you, then you probably are not going to be watching me. So I would say, if you're gonna, don't spend money on a boot camp if you have a choice. Like, go to a college. Like, if it's 9K, okay. If it's $2,000 for the boot camp, maybe. It depends. If it's the $2,000 for Security Plus, maybe, because a degree is going to cost way more than that. So, but if you're going to drop like 5 or more thousand, I would say, nah, don't do it. Don't. Just think about investing into an associate's degree or something, or if your company's paying for it, like, go for it. So that's just my 2 cents. That's how I feel about boot camps. I just don't feel like it's worth what you could learn the same thing from a book. Now, a lot of times in the boot camps, I will give you this. If it's a good one, they'll give you all kinds of like books. They get you all kinds of insider knowledge. They give you all kinds of, like, if some of them are really good, and they're gonna like make sure you get that certification. You know what I mean? Like, if it's one of those, maybe. Do you code in cybersecurity, or is it just basic IT support? Do I code? If that's your question, do I code? I don't have to code. There are a couple systems that require scripting, but I don't have to do the scripting. Like, it's not required. It's not a requirement of my job. I make 6 figures for the last, I don't know, 7-8 years. For the last decade, I've been making 6 figures as an information system security officer, which is GRC. I have not in any of those jobs it wasn't a job requirement for me to code. I tell you this to say that you don't have to code to make good money or to be in cybersecurity. Do I do basic IT? It's not basic, because I'm dealing with usually I'm dealing with an enclave. Like, I'm dealing with a certain group of systems, and we have to manage the security across those systems. And we've got firewalls we have to deal with sometimes. In my last organization, we have servers, we have endpoint devices, we have, you name it. We have it all on this gigantic general support system, and we have all these different problems, like problems you would not even think of. We have them. We got to figure out as a team. I'm not the only one on the team, right? So we have specialists who can code. We have developers who that's their specialty. We have firewall guys. I don't have to be the firewall guy. There's a guy who does that. So they need me to tell them what NIST 853 is being violated because they didn't put a certain thing on the firewall. That's kind of where I'm at. So is it complicated? It can get complicated, but the hardest part of the job is really dealing with people, to keep it 100% real with you. The hardest part is not the technical side. The hardest part is dealing with the organization and the people. That's really the hardest part for what I do. Let me see. I'm only going to answer a few more questions, guys. I didn't intend for this one to be like one of those 2-hour sessions. But if you want to have a longer session, I do these every Saturday at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and I usually stay on for like an hour or 2 hours, and we just sit here and talk and stuff, and it's great. I got off work like a few hours ago, like, so I'm not going to do this one too long. Let me see. I answered that question. I think, what's this one? What are your thoughts on WGU? What the hell? It's a good college. Go try it out. Talk to a academic counselor. I don't think it's bad. I've got a few people who went through it. Seems like it's on the cheaper side. I mean, it's on the affordable side, I should say, to get a certification and then, a degree. And then they also throw in certifications in there. So I think it's pretty good. Seems like a good college. I never been there. I have a security degree and security plus. I can't find a job. My previous job was accounting. Do you have Gemini? All right. I hope you're still on because I can really help you out. If this is you, okay, let me just answer to anybody like this. If you already have a degree and you have a security plus, the next question I would like to ask you if you have any experience whatsoever in IT, in information technology, because it's important. Because you got to put that on your resume. So now the next step, whatever your status is on your experience, you got to put it on your resume. That's the next step. So you got to put the keywords on your resume. Now you're asking. Now the next question should be, what keywords, Bruce? Like what do I put on my resume? If this is you, if you're asking me this, go to ConvoCourses.net. Link is in description. Just go over here. It's a free downloadable. It's my resume. It's the resume I've used to get for the past 10 years. I've been using this resume. Of course, I've updated it and all that kind of stuff. It's an ATS style resume. It's got keywords that I've been using. And what I want you to do is not copy it word for word, but you should get some idea of what kinds of things you should put on your resume, because my resume has worked. All right. Now, another place you can go to get free resumes, like real world resumes that people are putting out there and getting jobs, is on LinkedIn. Go to LinkedIn and then type in cybersecurity analyst, or just type in cybersecurity. Look for jobs. Go hunt down jobs and then look for people's. Well, no, actually, don't look for jobs just yet. You want to get people's resumes, right? You want to get keywords. So let's go to jobs next. First, go to people. You'll see a bunch of people with their resume. They're listing out their real resumes look for the keywords that they're using for your industry that you're trying to get into. Take those keywords, steal them, steal their keywords. Look at how they word the things and then put those things, work those into your resume. And that's how you make a better resume. Now that you have the keywords in your resume, you want to put it. Now, this is the part that no one listens to me. People don't, but when they do, they're on these lives. You'll see them from time to time saying, Bruce, I took your advice and now I've got a million freaking jobs every day in a recession while banks are closing down, when Google's not hiring anybody. Every day, people are spamming me with job opportunities. I'm telling you, this works. It works. The next thing you need to do with your resume, all right, whether you have experience or not, if you have a degree, if you have a security plus, you got those keywords on your resume. You put them on there. Put it everywhere. Everywhere. I hope you're listening to me. If you put it everywhere, people will see it. Isn't that should be blowing your mind? Like, wait a minute. If I put it everywhere, people are actually going to see it. That's right. That's the secret. There's no secret. You just put it on Dice, on Amazon. Put it on Dice.com. Put it on Indeed.com. Put it on put it on Monster.com. Put it on Career Builder. Put it on US Jobs. Put it on every job site. The top 20 job sites in your country. Put them on there. Put your resume on there. Now, resume has to be good, all right? And I'm not promising you, if you have no experience, it's going to be very difficult for you to get any kind of opportunities, because that's important. So, but that's not to say you won't get them, because there are jobs that don't require experience, but they do require you to have the knowledge. So that it'll work, I'm telling you. And then on top of that, there's another step where you actually apply for those jobs. You got to be aggressive about it. And if you want to know more about this, I've got a book about it. If you go to Amazon, actually, I've got a discount on the book. Go to ConvoCourses.net. And then I've got I've got a book that Mark tells you exactly what I'm telling you in greater detail and walks you through what you need to do. I've got a course that also does it, that's telling you screen for screen what I'm doing. I'm literally setting my own personal resume, putting it out there. And that's how I literally got the job I currently have. It works. is what I'm trying to tell you. What are some alternative routes outside of getting a degree? For getting in cybersecurity. So what I would do is I would go to Indeed.com. You can do this on LinkedIn, on Dice, or whatever. But if you go to Indeed.com, let me show you something. There's a filter. You're not going to get a high-paying job doing this, by the way. So you go to Indeed. If you guys are following along with me, if you're listening to me, I'm actually showing it on my screen, but I'll walk you through it so you can hear, you can visualize what we're talking about here. So you go to Indeed.com. Indeed. Let me see if I can switch. I really hate this feature on I've been trying to fix this and make it something better. But anyway, I'm on Indeed. I'm sorry, this is not going to look good if you're on TikTok. Let's say you're in Ohio, right? So you want to type in, if you have no experience, you're going to have to go for a normal IT job. So I'm just going to put IT support specialist. All right, where? Ohio. And then I'm going to hit search. Now, see these filters right here? These filters, you got to pay very close attention to these, because the next thing you want to do is you want to filter by not employment type. You want to filter by posted, no. Experience level, no experience. See this right here? See where it says no experience? No experience. No experience. And then search. That's one thing you can do. Now, let's say you have experience, but you don't have a degree. So that's even better, because then you can just say, well, I'm a mid-tier. I'm an entry-level person, but I have experience, but I don't have a certification. That's fine. Just don't list your certification. Like, just search for stuff that doesn't have a certification. You go through these, your search is going to be much harder, because you have to go through all of these jobs. This is in Ohio, by the way. You got to go through all these jobs and figure out which ones don't require a certification. That's how you do it. But you got to have you have to have your resume up, like I just told you. If you have your resume on there, if you have your profile set up, then all this will be easy. Damn, I'm trying to switch the damn screen here on TikTok, and it is a pain to do this. I really gotta. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, my phone is about to die, so I can only answer a few more questions. Let me see. Fashionable says, what sources do you follow to keep up to date with all things cybersecurity? So that's a great question. I get this from time to time. There's a few. Google News, really, just Google News, and then type in cybersecurity. That's one. I listen to the news every day just to kind of get a baseline of the news, and I pay special attention to technology. So I'll just look for Google technology news. That's probably my top one. Another one is CISSA.gov. CISSA.gov will give you all the top vulnerabilities that are happening right now. Another one is if you type in CVEs. This is one I use almost every day for my job. Now, we've got tools that pull in the CVEs. CVEs are common vulnerabilities that are out there, any kind of vulnerabilities that come in from vendors. So I'm always having to be up on what's going on with the vulnerabilities that are right now that are pertain to our assets, that the organization I work for. So that's another place that I use. Another source of data that I use. Another one is if you want to just know technical news, like some of the cooler stuff that's going on with like Chat GPT or whatever. One is called Security Now from the Twit guys. Those guys have been around a long time. That's a good one. If you want deeper stuff, like really philosophical cybersecurity stuff, there's this dude named Bruce Schneier who I watch from time to time. Really good blog. He's been running for a long time. Bruce is the guy who wrote Two Fish, which is he's a cryptographer, I believe, or a crypto analyst. The dude's a really brilliant. Let me see if I can find him. His name is like ridiculous. Schneier. All right, there he is, Schneier. Okay. This dude right here, this old dude, man, is a brilliant man. And this guy, he invented Two Fish, and he's a cryptographer, and he'll write books about about cybersecurity in particular. He's super smart on it, and he's got some really good insights into not only cybersecurity but the impact of technology on society, which is really interesting. Good stuff, really good stuff. This is when I want to go like way deep into like malware, or like how different malware attacks, or like when that Stuxnet stuff happened, he had some good stuff to say about that. Or when global viruses break out, he'll break down some of the stuff that's going on with it. This dude's good. So anyway, that's some of the sources that I have that I frequent, that I check out every now and then. Let me see, a couple more questions, and I gotta bounce. Let me see here. Let me see what's going on with TikTok real quick. Damn, that's a lot of. I need to do more of these, man. This is crazy. I'm getting so many people. What do you think about WGU? You know, that's a unique question that I've never been asked before. WGU security program, and especially for a beginner with no experience. It's great. I think schools like WGU, another ones. I don't want to endorse any other schools, to be honest with you. Some of them are just overpriced, and you can do better. But WGU seems like a fairly okay pricing for adults, and it's online schooling. It's an accredited college. I know a few people who took it and have a master's or a bachelor's degree from there. They have curriculums that allow you to actually get cloud certifications or Security Plus, or while you're getting a degree. That's great. Another great thing about these degrees is that if you start on the degree, you could put it on your resume. You start like day one, you could be like, working on my degree. You could put the degree stuff, like you put the degrees, you put education, and then it'll say, you could say BS IT or BS cybersecurity, and working on, and that is valid. You could put that, and that way when employers are looking for you, they'll look for, I need somebody with a bachelor's degree in cybersecurity or a bachelor's degree, whatever, and then they'll find you because your degree, your profile or degree, your resume or profile will have the degree on there, but it'll say working on it. And a lot of organizations will hire you and say, look, we need you to finish your degree within 2 years, whatever, and we'll help you pay for it. But this position requires that you have a degree or a CISSP or whatever. But you put on your profile and on your resume, working on bachelor's degree, working on on your CISSP. You could put that. Working on your Security Plus. Yeah, I know because it worked for me. So one of my first jobs outside of the military, my second job actually outside of the military, they took my before the interview because I experienced with the risk management framework. And they said, well, this requires that you have a CISSP. Can you get it? And I've noticed you don't have a CISSP. Can you get one within X amount of when they wanted me to get one within 6 months, right? I said, yeah, I can get one in 6 months. And they hired me, and I'm a dope worker. I'm dope. So I get in there. I take it seriously. I'm really good at communicating with people. So they're like, okay, this guy's good, but he doesn't have a CISSP. And then 6 months passed, and they're like, hey, are you working on it? I said, yeah, I'm working on it. I'm going to take it real soon. I plan on taking it in a few, whatever. And I'm still studying it. This stuff is like so deep. I'm like, oh man. It's so much. It's not deep. It's just a lot. So I'm still studying, like, oh my God, how am I going to pass this thing? And then I started getting nervous. I was too nervous to take the test. I was like, man, I can't. I was terrified to take the damn test. And then because the more I knew about it, the more I was like, damn, it's really hard. And I got my own head about it. And then 1 year later, my boss comes to me. He's like, hey man, like, you're supposed to take CISSP. Like, where is it? And I said, it's all right if I take the Security Plus first. He said, yeah, you can, but look, you got to get a CISSP. All right. How about this? I got to tell my boss something. My boss telling me, I got to tell my boss something. So I got to tell the government something. So you got to go ahead and take the Security Plus, then go ahead and take CISSP. Okay. I said, yes. So I went and took the CI. I went and studied like, I don't know, 2 months or something for Security Plus. Took it, passed it. I was like, okay, that wasn't too bad. And then I got that, and then my boss was on me. He's like, okay, now you got to take CISSP. So then I studied for like another couple months or something, and then I took the CISSP and passed it. So that's what you can do. That's a little trick. You just put working on CISSP, working on Security Plus, working on bachelor's degree or master's degree, whatever it is, and put that on your resume. And I'm telling you, you could get. Sometimes they'll pay for your stuff. A lot of the certifications I got, an organization paid for it. Is it worth taking the CISSP exam without required and verified work experience? I already have the Security Plus. Oh, this is a great segue into what we were just talking about. Is it worth it? There's some kind of requisites that you have to do before you take the CISSP. You have to have a certain amount. I think it's 5 years of experience before you take it. You can get some sort of, they have some kind of program where you can still sit for the test, but they don't give it to you until you hit those milestones. Is it worth it? To be honest with you, Vaughn, if that, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Okay, so what I would do, sir, is maybe go ahead and take another certification while you're building up your certificate. Once you get within about, I would say, once you get within about a year or two of the requirements, then go ahead and take it. But if you're like a year in and you got a Security Plus, don't just take another certification for now. Like there's other things you can do that are pretty good as far as making money. One of them is CEH. Like people shit on the CEH, but CEH is actually not. It's very marketable. I'll put it to you that way. CEH is one you can do. I believe you could sit for the CISSP, which is also pretty good. That's a $100K certification. CEH, I think you could take the CISSP. I don't know if they have the 5-year requirement or what's their deal, but I would look into the CISSP. If you're trying to level up from the Security Plus, CEH, because now it's time to specialize. The CEH will specialize in ethical hacking. Somebody said CYA Plus. I don't have a background in that, so I can't speak on that. Marketability wise, it's too new for me, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. And I know a person, another YouTuber, who got that certification, got a great job. So, I know people who have that one who are doing good with that one. So CYSA is a specialization in analyst work, cybersecurity analyst work. CEH is a specialization entry level into pen testing. Another one is I don't know if CRISC is entry level. CRISC is from ISACA, but I don't know if that one's entry level or not. But that'll be another one to look into. Another one is called a CAP, the ISC2 CAP, which I have. It's been renamed to ISC2 CGRC. It's a GRC certification. So that's another one that you could do before you take the CISSP. If you're a year and a half, I wouldn't recommend doing CISSP yet. So somebody said CYSA Plus is basically a blue team focused cert. I didn't know that. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Because you're a defender, right? So you're monitoring, you're in the analyst work and all that, because that's what they do. That's blue team stuff. All right, guys, that's it. My phone's about to die. This is great. I didn't know I would get this much interaction on a Monday after work. So maybe I'll do more of these. And I've got more streams coming on YouTube. So if you guys are on TikTok, you want to watch stuff like this, I got way more coming out on YouTube. And I'll try to do another one of these where it's TikTok and YouTube through the week. If you guys want more of this kind of stuff, this continues after this live. I've got a Discord channel. I've got tons of free stuff for you. Go to ConvoCourses.net. Check it out. I've got books If you happen to be if you frequent Amazon, I've got books on there, and all of it's talking about stuff that we're talking about here. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I will be back. Same bad time, same bad channel. See you guys later.